What's happening, guys? Zachary here from Review Everything, and today we're going to be taking a quick look at the Hyperion extended battery for the Samsung Galaxy S4. Now you can see the battery and the phone here side by side, see how it compares to the phone. The battery is actually thicker than the original phone itself. It's essentially twice the size of the included Samsung battery. The installation is incredibly easy. Basically, you're just going to pop off the back of your cover, just like you normally would to access the battery. I'm going to turn off my phone. Maybe I should do that first. And there you can see the original Samsung battery in the back. Just pop that out, take the Hyperion battery, and it fits right in like the original one does, except you'll see that it is much bulkier. It sticks out the back. So the original back will not fit anymore, which is why Hyperion includes this handy dandy fairly sleek, actually, backplate replacement, and it pops on just as easily as the original, actually somewhat easier. The phone is definitely a little bit thicker. Actually, it's probably about twice as thick, almost, maybe not quite, but definitely bulkier, and I found myself really concerned about buying this, whether the bulkiness would be too much, whether it would be too thick. To be perfectly honest, it's not really much of a concern. You shouldn't be worried about it because I was completely used to this within a day of using it. You really won't miss the thinness of the phone because the battery life is incredible. One side note, the back plate here is pretty slippery. I recommend getting the case here, which adds a lot of grip and a little bit of protection to the phone and the plate, and it kind of ties the whole thing in together, gives it a really nice coherent design. It does get a little dusty around the camera, you might have to clean that out every now and then, but really not much of a problem. The case does add a little bit of extra girth on top of that thickness added from the battery, but honestly, once you get used to the battery life, you're really not going to care. Like I said, I was extremely worried about the phone being too thick or too heavy with this on. It is heavier, it is thicker, but I got used to it so fast I didn't even notice after a while. It doesn't bother me whatsoever now. Okay, now here's something else worth noting. I absolutely hate cases. I never use a case on my phone. I think there's no reason to have a case on your phone unless you have cerebral palsy and you can't help throwing your phone on a concrete every 2 seconds. Other than that, I think cases are ugly, they ruin the aesthetics of the phone, and there's no reason to have one. So with all that in mind, the fact that I've been using this case and battery for almost a year now really speaks volumes about the design and the unobtrusiveness of it. It looks much worse on camera than it feels in the hand. It feels very nice, very natural. It almost feels more premium because of the added little bit of weight. So don't be worried if you hate cases like I do. Don't write it off. Now, as far as battery life is concerned, which is the real purpose for this thing, basically it's incredible. Now, you saw that it was about twice as thick as the original battery, but in my experience, it lasts well over twice what the original battery would offer you as far as daily usage. Basically, I'm an extremely heavy user of my phone. I'm on it 24/7, Instagram, Facebook, uploading pictures, taking pictures and videos, editing videos, listening to music, basically non-stop. I also have my screen brightness up all the way because what's the point of having a great, beautiful big screen if you're not going to use it, right? So screen brightness all the way up, emails pulled down constantly. I don't hold anything back when it comes to wasting my battery. With all that in mind, I can easily pull 2 days of use out of this with incredibly heavy usage. With my original battery, toward the end of the day, like 9 or 10 p.m., I would be hitting 10 or 15% maybe, and it would start to die. With this, that's happening after 2 days. 2 days of extreme usage. And so I usually don't let it go that far. I usually charge it every night still, and I'll end the day. If it's an extremely long day, like say get up at 8 or 9 for school, go to work, come home from work at like midnight or later, I usually end a day like that with about 30 to 40%, and that's with insane usage all day, like I said. So keep that in mind. And just a story from when I first started using this, I went on a road trip with a couple of my friends to New York, and they were constantly charging their phones in the car. Literally every 2 or 3 hours they had to charge their phones because of roaming and Wi-Fi network switching and using maps and all that sort of thing. My phone was the primary map phone that we were using the maps on, and the entire 5 days that we were gone, I think I charged my phone 3 times total. And they charged theirs, like I said, every 2 hours, literally on and off the chargers nonstop. That was a really great experience with this battery, and that's what really made me decide to use it as much as I do. Great battery pack. Follow the instructions. It comes with instructions telling you how to charge it. Initially, the first 5 times you charge it, I think you have to leave it on for 12 hours or something like that. And that kind of stretches the battery to its maximum capacity. And I would highly recommend doing that. That's what I did. I don't know if there's really any difference, but that's what I did, and it's held up amazingly so far. So if you're sick of your phone dying all the time, definitely consider picking this up. It was really cheap on Amazon for me. I think 40 bucks with the case and the battery combined. It's a great battery. Go ahead and buy it. No reason not to.